Hello. This is a reading for Leo for January, the beginning of the year 2017. So this is the first reading I've ever done for you. So welcome. Let me know what you think in the comments, or if this connects or something. I have some introductory videos which will explain the sort of basic way my readings go and the way I approach the readings, and some of my general philosophies, just things like that. Helpful to know. But other than that, let's get right into it. Okay. So, for your current situation, Leo, I have the Knight of Coins. This reminds me of a Leo too. Uh, you've been really diligently working. So this is you've really dove into. It could be a relationship too. You really dove into something and said, you know what, I'm gonna be the good guy this time. You know, like I'm gonna do this right. Or in your workplace, you know, you've put in the effort to be that like real, you know, employee of the month, good employee, um, or something to that effect. Or you just have a really good work ethic in like all aspects of your life. You know, you put the work in where it needs to be, in the home life, in the career, in religion. It could be in spirituality or that way. If you feel the need for those things and you put the effort in, you know. What's crossing you is the Ten of Swords, which indicates that you're like near the end of a cycle, you know, the end of a situation, possibly a job, possibly a relationship. Just like a discrete episode is coming to an end, and it's gonna seem like there's sort of like no positive way out. You know, it feels like it's gonna hurt no matter what. But the positive is that you're moving on to something better. You're moving on to something that's going to serve you better. That's going to be healthier for you. So it's a net positive thing, even though this looks like really hard to see the positives, or you're going to have reservations about this. And it says in your path ahead here, you have the Hanged Man, which really indicates that what's about to happen is sort of just out of your control. It's just a long time coming, you know. It's a process that you're going to have to sit back and experience and watch, and just stay prepared, you know, stay on your toes and be ready, because the time will come for you to stand back up on your own feet again, you know. But this process immediately is going to be a little bit out of your control. I can see that the way that you got here was the Hierophant. So this relates specifically to institutions. Okay, so this is like sometimes the Pope in other decks. But this is like institutions, like religious institutions, or a business, a company, corporation, marriage, you know, even just a personal relationship or something like that. And it's specifically about committing to these types of institutions. So that makes, you know, this makes sense that you've put a lot into this, whatever the situation is. You put a lot into it, and you know, you're not happy about seeing this shaken up. You know, about seeing things change in this way. And you know, I can understand that somebody with such a tenacious work ethic learns to appreciate a sort of steadiness about life, you know. So I can understand the not wanting to get shaken up, you know. But we see in your foundation and your subconscious, you have the Four of Cups, and the Four of Cups is really, the, to me, it sort of indicates that even though all the material, worldly situations are in order, you know, everything is okay, everything's pretty good. There's still this sense of something missing, something you're not really growing. You know what I mean? So good times are great, you know, but they're not really great for encouraging growth. It's the tough times that encourage growth and toughening up and that kind of thing. So you have to go through a period where the normal life that you've set up for yourself doesn't really do it for you anymore, regardless of how good that pattern is, you know, because you've got to grow, you've got to develop, you've got to branch out. It's a matter of survival. It's a matter of genetics, you know. It's just a primal drive. Um, For your crowning thoughts, for your conscious mind, we have the Queen of Wands. And this means that, you know, this might be a frustrating situation for you, especially because you're a creative thinker, you know, you're a person who is really able to uh, put your ideas into action. You know, it's not just creative thinking. It's about manifesting the things that you come up with, the ideas that you come up with, into the physical world. Because most, you know, you'd be shocked if we had like a recorder for everyone's thoughts. We'd probably have amazing things that just are lost because they're not written down, or the person's memory is just so fallible, you know. But some people have really profound thoughts that are just gone, you know. But you are really able to manifest those thoughts into reality. You have the tenacity to write a book. You have the tenacity to get involved in really meticulous art projects, like music. You know, music production is incredibly meticulous, and I feel as though that might be something that you're being nudged toward, you know. Um, your advice for the current situation is the Page of Coins. Um, and the Page of Coins is again another strong indication of like the manifestation, you know, the power of manifestation um, into the physical, you know. In the specific cycle here, the Page of Coins is really saying that you're in a point right now where you need to worry not so much about the end products, but you need to worry about investing in a new project, in something, in the start of a new venture. You know, it's the beginning energy, not the ending energy, that you need to be focused on right now. You know, so whatever it is that you're leaving behind, whatever idea you're leaving behind, try to focus on the thing that you want to move toward, not the thing that you're moving away from. For your environment, it's the Six of Swords, which is another card that indicates sort of like a painful transition, or like a melancholy moving forward, you know. Um, Not something that you really have much of a choice about. It's just a time to move on, you know. That's all you can say about that. So for your fears card, this one's kind of interesting. You have the Lovers, and the Lovers really are, you know, everybody's first indication when you talk about lovers is like a couple or a relationship or something like that. But the card itself really embodies choice, or you know, the decision-making process. And okay, because think of it like this, okay? In theory, everyone is perfect, right? Everyone is God. And if that's so, then how do you choose one person as like a romantic partner, uh, and exclude everyone else? You know, have like a monogamous relationship if you wanted that type of thing. Well, you know, basically the answer is just choice. It's like you have to make a choice that this person is the one that I'm going to devote myself to. You know, that sort of thing. So it boils down to the necessity of making a choice. Okay, so raw attraction is not enough. You know, there has to be a signal sent. So, you know, a move made. You know, but just in general, this means choices have to be made. You know, will has to be asserted. You can't just simply follow the rules anymore. You're going to have to branch off and take your own direction. You know, and you seem to have some anxiety about that, so just take it easy, you know, like take it one step at a time and think about what you want, like think about what's going to make you happy, you know. Your overall message is the Ten of Wands, and the Ten of Wands really means that you've been over encumbered, you know, you've been overworked. um, you've probably been compensated fairly. Okay, so like if this is in the context of a relationship, it's not that the relationship has been bad, you know. It has served you some, but it's come to a point now where it is hindering your growth rather than helping it. You know, you could really get more out of life by broadening your horizons, or moving on to a position where you had more creative influence, more control, you know. So keep that in mind, you know, keep it in mind that your your old situation, you know, you may have learned to really be comfortable with it, to cope with it, but it may not have been the most happy you could be, you know what I mean? And part of that is just sort of like how you're raised. You know, most of us, we can learn to be as happy as possible in a given situation, but it's possible for us to be happier in certain situations than others, you know. So there's sort of a range that you have to learn to appreciate. You have to go through a cycle. You have to go up and down, and, you know, not get too accustomed to anything. I don't know. I feel like that's the flavor of life. I think boredom is the problem. You know, the human problem. That's like the quintessential human problem. Boredom. That's it. But anyway, that's your reading. And it's a very interesting reading. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, let me know. Um, and I will see you next time. Thank you very much, Leos. Bye-bye.